Thank you, Annie, for helping us feel connected and really for appreciating all of us in our work today. Thank you so much for that beginning. As she said, we're going to just take a peek at this agenda. It is so similar to our October session together. So you're going to see familiarity, and hopefully that's going to support our fluency in our work today. If you are in the same space, and thank you coordinators for replying to that survey, over half of you are meeting in a room together physically, looking in each other's eyes. And if that's the case, just take this moment to look around and, just celebrate each other in your hearts. And for those of you who are joining via Zoom, but you still during the team time will be together in your own space, the same valuable conversations will happen after lunch together in that space as well. And for all of us who are connecting virtually, just take a peek at the people, scroll through the faces that we see. It always is such a reminder of how not alone we are, even though a work of a coach does feel very lonely, because often we're the only coach in our spaces most of the time. So hopefully you feel the joy and the belonging as you look at the faces today around you. If you are in the same room, it would be great for you to have your own laptop and be also tracking with the Zoom chat. But just like it says right here, don't join your audio. Just don't click join audio when you join in the Zoom, or if you need to leave computer audio, then that'd be great. That's the easiest way for you to still have access to the chat, and you will want that. And also just be present in the space today. Thank you, coordinators, for all that you do in preparation for these days and to support each other. We're grateful. There are some tools for you. We have brought back this optional note-taking guide, and a lot of people appreciated this. So it forces you to make a copy. It's there for you if it's helpful. You can make it larger or different, or you could just take this structure and copy it on a piece of paper, on a blank piece of paper for you if you're a handwritten person. But we just created this for you in case it's helpful for you to track throughout the day and to have somewhere where you might be taking notes of things that you do want to talk about with your local coaching colleagues from your ISD or RISA or ESD or ESA. As Annie named, we have a place to submit questions for Dr. Duke. We're so excited that she'll be with us today at 11:15. Thank you, Diane and Susan, for preparing for us a continuation of what we learned together in October around asset orientation for our students, their families, their communities, for our schools, for our colleagues, the teachers that we serve as coaches and as instructional leaders. That is going to be meaningful. And I know from the feedback last month, that's going to be exactly what people wanted, a continued focus on that. We do have another protocol for that. When you are ready for that, if you are connecting via Zoom today, you're going to click on this and you're going to go into a different Zoom link. All you have to do is click on it. It will transport you there. You're going to go there based on your last name. Some of them have passcodes. When you're in there, your host will help you get into a smaller conversation so that you can be in community with a couple other coaches. And Diane and Susan have organized that for us so that you can have a meaningful conversation and enough time to do so. We will transition to Dr. Duke. We will learn with her until lunch. At lunch, we're going to pop a couple announcements here in this resource section. Not that you would want to do that during your lunch. Hopefully you'll take care of yourself, but there will be some announcements there, and we will include them in a follow-up email so that you have what you need to know about really good work that is continuing or starting and the opportunities for you. We've already referenced this team time where you get to be in community with the local coaches on your ISD team. This is the document that coordinators, you can go into and edit at any time. When you go into that link to the team time Zoom rooms, it also is a place that if you're not meeting via Zoom, you can put meeting in person, but obviously people know that if you're literally meeting in person right now, but this is just the ongoing place for you to communicate to each other where you are during our local team time. So if a link is in there from October and it's still the way that you gather, awesome. If you need to edit that, please do that sometime before the end of lunch, because right after lunch, you get to just transition to that team time conversation. There are a couple prompts in that note-taking form if you would value that, but truly it's about like, what did we learn in the morning? What are we thinking about? How do we instantiate any of that here in our work? And really just having the time for you to connect. Some teams, this is so precious because you have very little time together. So you have your own priorities as well. You have that afternoon break, and that's when we transition to our learning pathways. These were launched in August. We're staying with the same group all year long. So as we gather during these quarterly meetings for the last hour and a half, we have the honor of learning with our colleagues and some researchers who have said, yes, we will take this on. We will build a community of practice around one of these 5 topics, and we will continually gather throughout this year. And it is powerful. Thank you for your feedback, everyone, and every leader of these 5 different learning pathways. We can never thank you enough for your intentional planning and support. There will be a feedback form linked right here. As you know, we read every single word. All of the facilitators of the pathways do as well. So we really will appreciate and expect that you do take the time to complete that reflection form. The last few minutes of your learning pathway, you'll have that form too, put right in your chat for easy access, but we will be linking it here for you as well. And then the sketch form will be down there linked as well. It can't be linked until this afternoon. Just to let you know, Michelle Wagner from Wayne Risa, the incredible Michelle Wagner is kind of like her full name here. It always has to be like the incredible Michelle Wagner. It's just like how it has to go. But she has taken all of the resources that each of our communities of practice, these learning pathways that are happening all year long that you are engaged in, she's taking these resources that each of these groups are collecting, and she's also transferring them to our coaches site. So when you go to literacyessentials.org and you go to quick links and you go to login, and if I'm saying something that some of you are like, oh yeah, wait, hold on, how do I do that? Then please reach out to me, to Liberty, to Michelle, to Annie, and we will make sure you know how to get there. But everything is there too on our website, organized, so that you don't have to think, where is an agenda that has a link to this that we can get to it? It's all on our website. Everything is transferred. So you know that at 1:30, you're going here to find your group, and this is the same group all year long. The resources that you are using are continually added here. And then so are the recordings, but we get to stay in that group all year. And again, it's just really been an important aspect of our network. So Annie, what did I forget?
I felt like you got everything in there really well. And
okay.
It sounded great. I was following along. So I think we're ready. And just a huge thank you to Michelle. I'll also put that link that Michelle just shared with us into the agenda too. So I'll put that down there. She may have already done it because she's so on top of things, and the incredible Michelle Wagner. So, okay, everybody. So as we are starting out today, I'm really excited to share with you that as of December 1st, I started a new position fully working for MAISA. And while this was very sad to leave working at Core ISD, and for those of you on the call, hello, colleagues, really excited to see you here and really happy that I'll still be engaged with you, but I have a new position title, which is called a literacy content project manager. And part of my role, a large portion of my role, will be supporting the Michigan Learning Channel and our partnership with the Michigan Learning Channel. And what we'll be doing is creating some new 4 or 5 literacy essentials. And you saw an announcement about that last week in the email that we sent out. And really the work of my job will be to make sure that the integrity of the essentials stays alive and well, thinking about what we really know about research, making sure that that is brought to life in the ways that things are represented on the Michigan Learning Channel. And as I start this new work, I'll continue to support our network in terms of being here at our quarterly meetings and supporting the pathways and the curricular resource work, because certainly when you think of the Michigan Learning Channel, that could be considered a curricular resource that you might use. So really excited. It's different and strange. It also means the one thing I'm also excited about is I will be having an opportunity to present in different areas, which will include leaders like superintendents and administrators about the Michigan Learning Channel, and trying to help them see how that's all connected to the literacy essentials and really how to leverage that, and just point them right back to literacyessentials.org and say, there's all these wonderful resources that are free to continue learning. So also, if they ask, who should I contact at leadership? I'll say there are people at your ISD to get in touch with that are very well trained in literacy essentials, and you should definitely reach out to them if you are not in touch with them. So I'm very excited, and thanks, Erin, for the moment to share. And I will look forward to working with all of you in that capacity and continuing to support what I can in the role that I still have with the 35A grant and the Early Literacy Professional Learning Network. So thank you all. And oh my gosh, I'm just looking at the chat now. So many nice things are being said. I'm not going to look at them because it'll probably make me teary right now, but thank you very, very much. And I'm going to turn things over to the Lisa Brown, who is here with us today too, because Lisa has some exciting news to share with all of you as well.
Good morning, everybody. Annie, thank you so much for all the work that you do. And you have really spearheaded the MLC work and brought it to a place of fruition. Without you, it would not have been as tightly aligned to the essentials as it is. And just to know that you're going to be able to continue that vision that you set forth for the project in the 4 or 5 space. It's evident by the gratitude in the chat that this is an answer to what people have been asking for in a really beautiful way. So thank you so much, Annie, for your leadership. Good morning, everybody. Thank you. I'm so honored to be with you here today. A little story to share with you. And it's crafting this has kind of taken me down memory lane. So I appreciate the opportunity to be here with you today and just share a few words. In 2016, I was greeted by a smile and a pair of sparkly blue eyes. Thanks for being here today, she said. It was Erin Brown, and we were at Washtenaw ISD for the second 4-day institute for the GEL on essential instructional practices and early literacy. It was my second day on the job as an early literacy coaching consultant for the Michigan Department of Education. I was hungry, I was eager, it was the perfect time, at least for me, that I felt in my career for me to be able to join the department. I had these visions and ideas of what I would be doing, and I was really excited. I left that institute that day exhausted. I was excited, I was amazed. A group of people, literacy coaches, embarking on a journey to align research into practice in classrooms and work with teachers. A true commitment to literacy. I listened while the room buzzed as you all negotiated, those of you that were there, negotiated what these new practices meant. They weren't new practices, but they were brought to light in a way that provided us with a clear path of how to move forward in our work with teachers. I spent the next year at the department learning the literacy landscape in Michigan, a gift from you all through your open invitations to visit your ISDs. I was empowered by your stories, your leadership, and true inspiration. Over the course of the next few years, the coaching practices came out, and we had a newfound platform to deepen our knowledge of what we knew about coaching. The school-wide, center-wide documents came out. Coaching intensives happened. Courses were offered in the network. There were leadership supports, all centered around research. I was invited into spaces like the Early Literacy Task Force and the General Education Leadership Network. And I was offered the opportunity as someone at the department to join MAISA for professional learning planning for you all. It didn't take me long to fall in love with the spirit of the coaching network, to fall in love with each of you and everything that you exude. After I had my son, it felt like the right time for me to join MAISA full-time as a professional learning coordinator. Then the pandemic. I watched in awe as you adapted, shifted, and survived. The experience changed many things. It brought light to the inequities in education and in the world. And as a network, we embraced our role to push back. We adopted a mission and vision. We studied a framework for equity and literacy, and we stayed the course with our alignment to research. Our network has grown from 80 to close to 500. I say our because this network is for us. It is led by us, and it is by far the proudest moment of my career. In October, I got a random calendar invite from Dave Carey. It was 8 a.m. on a Thursday, and the calendar invite was for 10:30. I thought, well, I'm either getting fired or something extraordinary is happening. So I immediately wrote back to him. At the same time, he was sending me some documents to look over. They were documents for the preschool development grant, Birth to 5. A whole entire outline of what the work looked like. As you all know, I've been deeply immersed in my own journey with my son in this preschool school readiness space. So it has been an area of interest for me and something that I've been openly passionate about. Dave explained to me that there was an opportunity to be able to join a small group, the early childhood operations team, and put our heads together and think about supporting the landscape for early childhood. I felt a big pit in my stomach. It was a full-time role. How could I possibly leave the space that has welcomed me, who has loved me, who has opened up to my family, the space where I have learned, the space where I have cried, the space where I have wondered, the space where I have grown and learned from all of you? He told me normally these were Friday conversations, but he wanted to give me a little bit of extra time to be able to think. My husband was out of town that weekend. I called Erin, I called Annie. We talked. What could this look like? Well, it's always hard to move and shift and pivot. I truly believe that everything happens for a reason. So today I share with you something you might already know, but wanted to share from me, that I've taken on a position as a coordinator for the preschool development grant, PDG B5, as you might know. The early literacy, the early childhood space is under the limelight right now with the new MyLeap and the merging of the new department through the governor's office. And I'm really, really excited to see where this journey takes me. I owe you all a great deal of gratitude that I don't even think words can express. There are so many of you that I want to put out name by name. I know I don't need to. I know you know who you are. But you have honestly and truly touched me from the depths of my soul. And I'm appreciative of the opportunity today to say thank you for all that you do. I know that I will always be welcome in this space by you, and I ask that you stay the course, that you continue to lead as you have been, that you welcome innovation and opportunities to engage with each other. I love you all very much, and I appreciate the work that you do. And again, thank you so much for having me in this space.
Lisa, words won't do it justice, but we're going to try. We are literacy folks. We love words. The chat is open. Please think in the next couple minutes about something very specific that you would like to share with Lisa about her impact in this work, on this network. Good networks are led from within. They're alive. They're like a family. They're like a group. They live, they breathe. So we do what we do as humans, and we celebrate. And as Priya Parker says, and sometimes it ends. Lisa just said that she will always be here. She'll always be welcome here. And we know that. And we just know we won't have as much time together in this space because she has a very important mission that she is taking on in a different space. So this is goodbye, and this is the closing of one era. So, and it's exciting, as Annie shared her work too, that's a shift, and it's not as much of a end of an era, as she is still parallel to this work and has a foot literally in this work with her time and her split of her role. So right now in the chat, specific feedback, please, for Lisa. We will collect it. Your words matter. They are a gift, and she deserves them. There aren't enough words, Lisa. But joy is a practice, and you have lived that. You've lived every dimension of what leadership means, every dimension of what we aspire to as literacy coaches, where we listen so carefully and respond and serve educators. And today, joy is a practice, and you have practiced that, and you have taught us. A couple more minutes to add your thoughts in the chat, and I would like to give you some images to inspire your words. This was more recently. I think this was when we heard that someone in our network was going to be able to do something about leadership, and we wanted to show them how excited we were when they replied to us. This was way early, still at MDE. I think this is the first intensive we had. Look at our colleagues right there. Lisa right there learning with us. Lisa's still at MDE, the big, huge sessions that we provided at the Lansing Center. 2 Augusts ago, 2 Augusts ago, Park Place, Maxton, and Jokes at lunch. I wish I would have taken more pictures of times when Lisa read aloud and modeled something for our network by reading aloud to Maxton during the pandemic, a book that our hearts needed to hear, but at least we had that one. And at good old Great Wolf Lodge, before our network expanded and we grew out of that. I think you were still at MDE for that too, Lisa, before you transitioned here. Some images that take us down memory road, and we'll spend one more minute putting thoughts in the chat for her. Thank you, everyone who provided specific words to communicate Lisa's impact. Lisa, thank you for the joy.